All right, guys, today is the 24th of July, 2025. CRAZII Market Talk with KEL. CRAZII, where logic meets profit. All right. Now, this is our new tagline. We try to make a new tagline every week or every month so that we keep ourselves firm and also be very clear that what is the whole objective of sharing all this market talk. All right, so before we go into that, let me explain to you what will happen. Disclaimer apply as usual. Please make sure you do your risk assessment when you do your trades. And after that, oops, sorry, the typo error here. It's 23rd. 1 minute. We will have a Bitcoin session. We'll talk about Bitcoin shortly after that. Why and what's happening in the Bitcoin market? Why is it so strong recently? And of course, very importantly, where is the direction that's going to come in the coming period of time? Yeah. Okay. So I apologize on that typo. Okay. All right. So let's just go back to it. And then let's go back to the start. Now, before we go anything, we'd like to know the fundamentals, right? What is happening right now in the market? Let's go. Now, the S&P 500 closed at a record high again on the trade deal optimistic. Now, what's happening is that it's getting a bit of funny, whereby the Donald Trump administration wants to basically hit everyone with the tariff. He goes very high and then later on now reduce. So it became a positive thing. Okay, so now the market is in the twisted mind. They don't mind having the tariff as long as the tariff is not very high. Okay, so which means that from zero tariff now, they go to Donald Trump say, I want to hit you with 40. So you got to freak out, right? And then after that, he said, okay, you know what? Let's have a deal at 15. And that's what the market likes. Okay, so that is very interesting. But that is the art of negotiation. Yeah, that's why people negotiate, and then those stronger people will negotiate a better deal. Well, you can see it as a bully form, but you can also say that, well, it depends on who is strong, who is weak. So the thing is, right now, we can see very clearly that the trade optimism now has hit up because US and Japan has came to a conclusive. And Japan was supposed to be hit by 25%, now will only be facing 15%. And EU have just got itself into a 20% versus the 30% initially. So again, all this optimism is coming into the market. And of course, Japan decided that, you know what, let's make the deal a bit sweeter. We'll say we'll invest about $550 billion in the US to open up the market, to bring in more automobiles, agriculture, and especially rice. It's interesting because we all know that Japan rice is very expensive right now. So it seems to be they are trying to import more rice into Japan. All right, so that's what's happening. And of course, we know the deadline is going to come in at 1st of August, whereby it is the so-called deadline for the imposition of the precedent tariff. All right, but the main thing is right now, right, we have a lot of earnings coming in. Let's take a look. Now, Alphabet basically beats earning expectation, rises spending forecast. So they did a better job in their earnings. All right, but the company itself, we do expect that there will be a little bit pullback on their forward earnings. Yeah, Tesla expected didn't come out well. The sales misses as auto revenue drops for the second straight quarter, the second quarter that is down. It is very clear that Tesla is losing market position. And of course, the share price is down by 18%. And imagine that if Tesla, excuse me, if Tesla was actually doing better, well, the S&P 500 went up even much higher. All right, so that is what's happening now for Tesla. And I suspect that Tesla will still continue for because they are really losing market cap. And of course, plus the little thing that he has with this Donald Trump that make it even tougher. Now, the IBM shares drop as the software revenue misses target. Well, IBM was used to be one of the big boys. Now we can see that the share price has been going down on the sideways and it lost 6% during the aftermarket. Now, Chipotle stock tumbled 9% after chain cut same-store sales forecast. So, well, we can see that this is all the real things happening. Other than Alphabet, Tesla, IBM, Chipotle, they are all coming out lower earnings. And this speaks for itself that the US economy ain't doing as well as what everybody says. But because of the 7 magnificent shares, 7 stocks, that's why the S&P now is still holding up because that's how they manipulated the market. But if any time the 7 counters get into some trouble or they come out some earning that miss out or some internal issue, then things will get very bad. And of course, right now, because of the SU-EU trade deal optimism, the European stock market basically rises. All right, so we saw yesterday DAX basically went up. Now, the thing is this, we can see that the mortgage demand flatlines at low level as mortgage rate hit 4 weeks high. So when the mortgages keep on going higher, right, basically people will not want to basically mortgage a house. And when that happens itself, right, you can see the refinancing will drop, the interest rate that earn from there will drop. So everything will have to come off, all right? Application for mortgage to purchase itself, right, will have to go up because people fear that they may go even higher. So that's something that you must take note. And again, that tells you that why the price of homes are coming down, because this is going up. So why we are saying that there could be a technical recession by the later part of the year is because one of the reasons is, right, it's one of the reasons why we need to be very careful, and we hopefully that we don't get to see this. But if you ask me, we are just nearby. And of course, I know that I have been pretty negative with the US market, but I have my reason. Let me show you now. This is the Buffett indicator. Well, you can see that right now we are really at a significantly overvalued. Based on yesterday's market update, the market cap to GDP is 212.2%. Oh my goodness. This is basically itself, right, twice of the value. So basically what I'm trying to say is that right now the earnings from the GDP has to be twice more to become equal. So now the stock market is basically shooting up, all right? Okay. While the earnings from the GDP is only like halfway mark. Okay. So there is a gap here itself. And whenever there's a gap in the market, we always do know that the market will sell off. All right. Now, is this always something that we always see? Well, you can ask yourself this question, because you can see right now that this is the market cap to GDP ratio. We are at all-time high since 1970. I repeat, since 1970 until to date, we are now at all-time high. Now, all-time high for stock market, we can understand because stock can go higher. But when you have this market cap to GDP that is twice, all right, and you can see every time when this happens, the calamity will be very bad. So that's the reason why we believe that this year, later part, we should see a significant pullback. But of course, what will be the catalyst? I'm not too sure at the moment. There's so many possible reasons, but still we can see right now, if you look at this, even with the total market index with Fed assets, right, the answer will still be the same. We are really significantly overvalued. All right. And of course, you look at the US GDP chart, it's still moving high, but the thing is this, the asset earnings are coming off, the Federal Reserve holding up. And of course, we all know who created this indicator in a way, that was Warren Buffett. And of course, we can see that it has the valuation benchmark, investment guideline, economic indicator, and historical comparison. Yeah. So all these you can find online under Buffett indicator. Okay. All right. So that is the macro picture for you to take a look. Now let's go into our charts. All right. So gold. Now everybody take a look at gold. I want to concentrate on something here itself. Everyone take a look. Hold on a minute. Okay, everybody take a look at gold. Now, if you have done a very simple thing and follow the OP rule, above OP, you just buy, you hold it till the end of the day, you make a lot of money. You buy again next day, despite it's very high, you buy and you hold it till the end of the day, you make money. Now, yesterday, if you buy, you will lose money, because if the market went up, you need profit, which is normal. When the market goes below OP, you have to stay short, right? And if you do the same thing by holding a short position until the end of the day, you make a lot of money. So the question is this, that's why we believe that in holding and trading the OP rate. Now, do understand, guys, when the market is going up, there's always be pullback, 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 pullback. Can you see that? Every time any market goes up, there will always be a pullback. You see this one here as well? Even though the 6 days are upside, but there's still one pullback day. Can you see that? The market can go up again to this level, but there's always be pullback. So that's why pullback is always very significantly seen by the OP. As long as the market stays below OP, no matter what you tell me, you should be a seller. That's all. You can be bullish on gold. You can be bullish on gold, but every day you have to treat them on its own. So the day that you can buy, you buy. On the day that you shouldn't buy, if you can sell, then go ahead and sell it, because the next few days, If you believe that the gold is going to go up again, there will be that day that gold will go up again and it's will be above 4p. You just have to follow through and buy all the way up. All right, it's as simple as that itself, guys. This is the OP rule to share with you, yeah? Okay, so now let's take a look at this current thing here right now. Okay, for today's market, right, let me go into that. The opening price for today is at 33.88 for gold. Today's MLP is 34.09. So obviously the MLP is above us, hence therefore there will be some selling pressure. And of course, at the same time, we do have the pivot 2 at 3418. So the market is going to add more resistance on the downside. But there's one condition: the market has to trade below OP for the sell condition to come in. So now you can see this morning until now, the market has been holding the OP very, very strongly. Maybe because we have the boys buying at this moment right now. Okay, so that could be one of the reasons. Now for today, for gold to go up, right, it could be tough because you have the pivot 2 on top of us, you have the MLP on top of us, the selling pressure will be strong. But of course, as long as the market is stable above OP, just follow through the buy. The first target definitely be MLP because that is the nearest resistance. I don't think it has the capacity to recover back to KCB 3432. Yesterday's opening, I don't think so, unless something different come in and then I get stabbed in the face, yeah? So I don't think so that will happen, at least for today. Now, this is the Dow Jones. As you can see very clearly, the market has the same thing. The market can be low here and high here, but there will be days whereby if we a down day, you just have to accept it's part and parcel of trading. So yesterday, we have a very strong up move, breaching 45,000. This morning, the opening price is 44,903. The MLP is 44,726. The pivot 2 is 45,000 flat. So again, with the KSI green and the KCX black, we expect the Dow Jones to continue to go up. There is a very high chance the Dow may be trading up to 45,000 again. All right, because that is the pivot 2. But if the Dow decided to take profit for whatever reason they have, then the first TP level will be at 44,726. Okay, so that is my view for today. Upside 45,000, downside 47,726. All right, so it's a very tight market at the moment. We just leave it alone. All right, the next market I'm going to, actually it's supposed to be Bitcoin, but I'm going to do Bitcoin later on, so I'm going to skip Bitcoin first. I'm going to do something else. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the silver, right? Just now this morning, I think this my good friend, Fico says that he dreamed that I talk about silver. Okay, and talk about silver then. Okay, guys, I'm definitely very, very bullish on silver, and I keep on saying that I believe silver will hit $50 when the time arrives. Now, I have no idea when this $50 will be traded, but I got a very, very strong, what you call belief that it will happen. Now, today, silver is at $39, $50 or $11 away. So, of course, you can say that. And when will it be? Well, put it this way. When it was trading here itself at $28 until here, which is at $34, it took up to 3 months. So which means that $6 move, it took about 3 months. All right, so basically where we are, we're 39, right? $39. So $39 to $50 is about 11 months, $11, right? So if you up by $11, so roughly so we're going to see it about between 5 to 6 months time. So where are we right now today? Today we are in July. So let's say we do a 5 months. So 5 months will be August, October, November, August, September, October, November, December. So which means that this target can be either hit by December 2025 or January 2026. Okay, guys, got it? Pretty simple, right? In the very simple mathematics here as well. Yeah. So you think that silver is going to go up to $50, press 50 in the group chat. You think that silver is going to go to $50, press 50 in the group chat if you think so. of course, by January 2026, yeah. Let me see how many of y'all posting that. Only 3 of y'all. Only a 3 of you think that the silver go to $50. Okay. Now, why would silver go to $50? That is a very good question. Number one is technical. The last time silver highest point was $50. So there will be a lot of short sellers from $40 onwards. And when that happens itself, right, you'll see a short squeeze in the market. Short squeeze means that the market knows that someone is on the short side and they are the long side. And because they have the power to have the money and power, so what they will do is that they will basically squeeze out these players out. Okay, so that's the first on technical reason. Now the second reason is inflation. Now basically I'm very confident now that the US and globally will see big inflation by the end of the year. And because of that, there will be a complement to basically balance out the ship. So US dollars and the silver dollars, silver itself are all intertwined. You pay the US dollar to get the silver. So, and the silver is calculated in US dollar. So the same thing I go, once the dollar depreciate in value, silver will shoot up. And of course, the third reason is why I think that the US dollar will go down further, because we can see that the Federal Reserve will need to print more money to save the world, or allow the interest rate to be cut and then expect the market to go into upheaval, and then they need to use print more money to save the day again. So this is my personal take. Now it's at $39. Let's see whether our $50 can be made by December 2025 or the most early 2026 January period. Okay. All right. So that will be the part that I want to cover for the silver market, as well as something like the currency market right now. Now we can see that this is euro, and again, now before you jump into conclusion and how come my diamond is missing, whenever you see a chart but a diamond is missing, don't need to panic. Just right click on refresh. All right, then you will see the diamonds coming up. Okay, all right. So what we have let's take a look. Now this week we have a very clear buy signal, whereby the diamond came out. So you have your buy signal, and the market opens, you get to buy up, and the euro went up. Very simple. The upside itself is 1.1795. Okay, so where we are right now, 1.7753. So we are about 20 pips away. I believe that the euro will be able to touch this level. Now, one thing is that because we are buying, the KSI was with you, the KCX was with you, so the buying have been very simple. So that's the reason why whenever you see the color change and the boys are buying and the retails are following through, you can see that it's always pretty good. Okay, so our system itself is not difficult to understand, but the reason why people don't use it is because they want something more complicated. But seriously, do you need to do that? I don't think so. Yeah. All right, one more market for you is the Nikkei. Let's take a look. Now, yesterday the Nikkei exploded higher. I haven't had a chance to find out what's the reason, but look at the Nikkei. Oh my God! Now probably it's because of the US tariff from 25% to 15%. I think that should be the answer. Yeah. All right, so now the thing is this. Japan stock market has went up by so much. Let me see, one single day, it has went up by 2,200 points. Oh my God. For the opening price, it went up by 2,200 points. Oh my God. Okay, so again, you're being slapped by on 15%, not 25%. You get yourself excited, you buy. Okay, so that's the reason why I always stick to the OP rule and stick to the KSI and KCX. So I'm pretty sure it opens straight away, go up, right? So you can only buy, you cannot sell. Because if the market is coming doing this way and it's near all-time high, it's very easy for the big boys to get hit in the market. All right, I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. If you don't understand, it's all right. Just take it at face value. Yeah. Okay, so the Nikkei can continue to climb all the way to 42,000. $481. Where are we right now? We are 41,900. So we are about 500 points away. for this potential hitting level at 42,481. Well, everything is still okay. The moving average is supporting it, the MA30 is supporting it, MLP is supporting it. Well, there's nothing much to be worried about. The most is this is the KCL level here today. Yellow to yellow, KSI green. So the KCL level, I think you understand this, is 41,823. Okay. So if the market is a pullback, this number will be the first support, and then after that, the target can be as high as 42,481. Okay, guys, all cool. If all cool, press number 2 right now. Number 2. All right, we'll take a short break for now. We'll come back with Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, don't move away. Thank you very much.